Welcome back. And let's move forward towards the backgrounds. How can we use the or choose the background in our graphics? So, all right. So first of all, always favorite the plain backgrounds. Well, these are quite minimal and pretty good in the contrast and showing your and conveying your meaning. So plain backgrounds are very helpful and in the flat designs or stuff. So it's very recommended. And in the plain background, we can use single color just like this, or we can use the gradients. This is not a plain background. It has some doodles and some lines in the background in it. So it's a design background, but it also has gradient as well. So in the plain one, we only have the gradient or the simple single color. Also, we can use designs or illustrations, icons or doodles or patterns or something like that into the background, but we have to be very careful about using it, that our text is not merged into the background. So if I show this image in the bigger picture, so as we can see it right here, so right here there's like it's kind of really hard to differentiate the text from the design. So that's not recommended at all. So in this image, what they have used this pattern background in the backend. If in the background, if you can see, there are dots in the background, but the choice of colors and the contrast is so well that uh, text is really clear, and this is a good design, actually, I would say. So please make sure your text is different than background or your design elements. Okay. So also, well, for the backgrounds, it's just the same thing. We are just covering the basic concepts for now, and later on we'll be just discussing how to use all of these in as a whole. So in the focal points, what does that mean? Our priority content always have to be focused. For suppose, let's talk about social media. On Facebook or on Instagram, people are scrolling and scrolling and scrolling every night. So they come to see our design graphic. So what would they see? What do you think? According to a study, a good graphic or a graphic on a social media platform has almost zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 seconds to gain attention. Okay, so only in that amount of time we have to gain the user or viewer attention, actually. So what are the ways we can use visual hierarchy? What does that mean? For suppose, let's say right here, okay, we have used a hierarchy that we needed to just add our logo, like our branding, upfront, and then we used this our phone number, and also our this shape is actually guiding the user in their subconscious that they have to move towards this. And I think the last focus of the viewer is on the cycle, maybe, or on this background watermark or whatever it is. Okay, so this is how we use a visual hierarchy and prioritize our content to reach to our goal. And later on we can also use color contrasts. uh, right here, if you can see, let me just open it in a bigger picture. So yeah, right here. So if we see right here, we have a very good black and white. Black and white has the maximum contrast above all of the colors. So right here we have this black and white, which has the maximum attention, and then this white text has maximum attention, and later on we have this text, and also we have used this shape as well. Now, what does this shape use? This is actually in the subconscious of our viewer. It is guiding the user or the viewer actually to look into this content. Okay, rather than focusing on this part of the graphic, which is quite obvious and quite sure, we are trying to divert the attention of our viewer towards some other content, which is really helpful for us to let them know. Okay. So that is how we define our focal points, and also well, font weights as well. Right here in this graphic, if I show you, I don't know where it is. Yeah, here it is. In this graphic, well, as we have seen, we have prioritized other content, and also, well, everyone loves sales. So in this graphic we have defined the sales, and also the prioritized it. Actually, we want to see these lines up to 75% or Boxing Day, these these words to be only for the people who are really interested into the sale. So from this word we have actually just grabbed the attention, and these are the ones who actually want to know more about it. Okay, so that is how we have given this lower priority against this one. And I can feel right here in this graphic that there's a very less contrast, which could be even better. So, well, again, that's a matter of fact. And also for the answer of Julius, is Julius with us? Yes, he is there. So Julius, here's a combination of of two fonts right here. So one we have used sans serif family, and the other one is serif. Like this one is serif, sorry, and this one is sans serif. So all right. And then we have, we can use lines or shapes, just like arrows or lines. We have used arrows for right here, or some line or some illustration right here. And triangles, or we can simply use the highlighter. Like if you have seen this post, this design workshop post, it was highlighted on the, I think, on what? Joining link is right here. So the joining link was highlighted. So that's what we can use. And also we can use negative space right here. So this one. And we have to be very creative and very careful on using this negative space as well. So if I can show you this image. So can anybody tell me what's wrong with this graphic? Anyone, please? Yes, Julius. Sure. Yeah. Well, text. Can you please elaborate? How is text wrong in this thing? Plus, it's all filled up. Well, first of all, again, you've inappropriate location of text. Yes, Sufyan, exactly. So please make sure never use the faces to write text on. Okay, so faces are very crucial place on a graphic, that never write text on the faces. Like we have seen Facebook actually used to do these things, that whenever someone is tagged on the picture, so they used to write their name on the face. Well, it still does it if we just tag it on the wrong place, but now their AI model is actually trained enough to recognize the area of the face, so it actually helps people. But in the initial days, like the user's name used to be popped up on the on their face, so it was quite embarrassing. And seriously, so never put your text onto the faces, first of all. The other thing right here is the negative. This is not the negative space that we have used. This one is the negative space. What is actually the negative space? The place in a graphic where there is kind of a vacant space. Okay, so empty space is called the negative space. So in this image, if we can see right here, maybe we could use right here 3 to 4 words we could write on this black t-shirt on this image. Or right here we have this whole bunch of negative space, and we have this space to write down our content. And yeah, Zubaria, Instagram is also visited. So, and let's continue with our discussion. So right here, good contrast makes our graphics to be focused. Lines, shapes, triangles, bold characters or bold typography, and negative spaces, all of the things collectively can be used to prioritize our content and let our viewer focus on one keyword that we are trying uh, to mention. Okay, and next we have again more focal points. And well, these are not just the focal points, but also these are some of the basic design principles as well. So for suppose right here, if we can see align elements, so elements alignment is very crucial. So on this graphic, if you can see, design is pretty good, but the elements design, I would say, element design is pretty good, but it's not aligned. And it's actually kind of distracting to the viewer. On the other hand, we just grab these all of the elements, and we have just most of the features have this tools have this feature alignment feature, so we have just made them center aligned, and now it's perfectly fine. Okay, so alignment can also be used, and here also we have used uh, font weight or the bold letters as well. And again, Julius, we have used this scripting font, and also we have used this sans serif family in bold characters, and along with this icon or the graphic of the shoe. And then we have to make sure that our elements are actually good spaced in between. So right here, well, let me ask you this thing as well. Please tell me what's wrong with this graphic. Let me open it in the bigger window. So please tell me what's wrong with this graphic. Text is close to the edge. Exactly, Julius, exactly. Yes, we have neglected the borders. And also our alignment is not well aligned. This text is right here and this is right here, and margins, exactly, Zubaria. And if it were to point it to cut out, yes, exactly. So for suppose if someone is viewing it on, let's say, mobile screen, and someone is using it on tablet screen, so maybe the application can clip our content, and that is why these margins and these borders are important in our designs. And also the text is quite clear right here. Even right here it is also clear, but Again, it's on the edges as well and not aligned. So you got it right. Right, Shumaida and Ruba. So, and then we have margins or the borders that I mentioned. So, and also let's discuss this thing. This one. Okay. Okay. So right here in this picture, if we want to see, oh, what do you see things, how the things are wrong? Again, the content is on the edges. Imported text is being overlapped by the border. Exactly. Well, Julius, this border is only for our sake of um, understanding. I think the actual graphic does not have the border, but again, you're quite right that uh, text and our actual content, which is actually, I think, is the actual purpose of this whole graphic, to get phone calls and get traffic on the website, is just not in the grid. So it is always recommended to leave the bleed or the border into the on the corners, and align your content in the middle, or with some proper spacing on the edges. So, well, Umer, how is the border color bothering you? Like, again, I would like to mention that that pink line was just there for the sake of understanding. It is not actually the border in the actual graphic. So in the actual graphic, there is no borders, but we have to. There is no actually line, but we have to make sure that we are just leaving the space. So moving forward, let me see if I have that. All right. So the visual effects. Okay. How we present our elements or our graphics into the things, if we can use it. For suppose we can use transparent images. So right here, let's discuss this Hong Kong graphic. So what's wrong with this? If anyone can tell me. I don't know if I have this image in the. I think I do not have this image. Yep. So in this graphic right here, we have just our content is kind of, Hong Kong is being messed up with the with this background. Also, our text right here, again, we have used sans serif font. I'm not sure if it is. It's like yeah, Nurul Iman. So it looks like a HCI class, but in human computer interaction subject, you learn quite a lot of things other than the design. Okay, so Julius, do you have anything to say? I would use Gaussian blur or lessen the bright or saturation, or put black overlay. Exactly, exactly. That's what we have used right here. So we have used this black overlay on the image, and also if you can see, the text is now much visible, and also we did not use this serif font. Rather, we used a simple straight line, and we used this sans serif font as well, and it's looking pretty awesome. And also the whole, I'm not sure if you can see this in the small screen, but the image and the whole perspective of these angles are leading the users towards this thing, the text, that the message that we want to convey. So again, transparent images use a very good uh, play a very good role in the visual effects. Also, we have this, we can use text opacity. We can play around with the text opacity as well. And if you can see it, yeah, right here. So right here, if you can see, well, again, this text is seriously not clear on the end, and we have used only the bold color, a bold font right here, and a simple sans serif font on the top. So again, and also if we want to make sure that our background is clear enough, and text is the same way that background can disturb the text, also text can also disturb the background. So in those cases, we can use this opaque or transparent fonts as well, so typography. So also in the collage, in the collages, let me just open this image as well. All right. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this image, and what's right in this image? Not aligned. Yes, Aruba. Elements are compressed. Okay. Yes, Julius. Anyone else? Anyone else? Image is not used properly. Yep. And you have white space at left side. Exactly. So right here, there's two. So in the symmetry, in the sense of symmetry as well, in the sense of alignment, every one of you is right. And right, if we can see right here, Merry Christmas is left aligned. Okay. And then we have this typography, which is also left aligned. All right. Then Happy New Year is right aligned for some reason. And this image, I don't know if it represents any Happy New Year or Merry Christmas or anything like that. So again, image is not used properly. And again, so what we have done for that, we have put this Happy New Year right here, and then we use the white space accordingly, and we use these images according right images into the design. And also for this white space, we have used this graphic as well. So this is all about this thing. And then we have shape as a frame. It's quite impressive and really good technique, really good technique in the visual effects to use shapes as frame. So in the background and the color, you see there are a lot of, what are these, Zubaria? Are these kiwis, or I think these are kiwis, right?
Yeah, kiwis.
So kiwis, and we have used this organic color palette, which is pretty nice and pretty good, but our typography is completely messed up with the background. So we used this proper background as border, and this technique makes a very nice graphics as well. So on and so forth. Please let me know if you have any questions related to these things. Once we go through the thought process, we'll have a Q&A session, and it will be an interactive session as well. So but so far, if you have anything, missed any point or something like that. So please ask in the chat or unmute yourself to discuss the things. All right, Bleed. Pairing of images with text again. All right. So once we have our images and also we have our text, so merging them up is quite a task, and we do not want to mess it around like this. So well, this image is really messed up. So the things we discussed in image to text pairing is we need to use high contrast between the background and the foreground. Of course, on the foreground we have our text, and on the background we have mostly our images. So, and then also we can use, we discussed that we can choose the same colors from the image, and also right here we also have have put on an overlay. So, and then our text should be really easy to read. Okay, so right, like this is not easy to read at all. And then we have discussed this overlays technique, that we can use these overlays, and we can use mask technique as well. So this is masking. And later on, well, I think and this was it into the things. Well, moving forward, so the thought process of whole graphic designing, or at least for the social media posts, every social media post comes up with a purpose. For suppose we need to define the purpose of our post. Let's say some post may have a product. We want to make sure that product is focused, and maybe its price is focused, or there is some heavy discount on the price that we want to focus. Or some of the posts are like generating or diverting the traffic to your website, or to your blog. So, or we have some software and we want to sell it, or we have some resource that we want users to more and more users to download it. So just know the purpose, the actual purpose of your graphic, first of all. That's really important. And once we have the goal or the purpose, we need to define the audience, that what are the target audience, what is their gender, what is their age group, what are their interests, what do they want to see, and what are their needs, etc., etc. Just define those things. Well, normally graphic designers completely just negate or neglect these things, but these are really important in good in designing good graphics. So first of all, I would say we have to define the goals, and then we have to define the target audience for those goals. That, for suppose, if I want traffic on my website, so I would like to know that what kind of people should go to my website. Okay, and later also, once those are defined, the target audience are defined, I will have to gather the content for the post. Okay, so what text should be there, what should be the phrase on my graphic, what should be the what images am I going to use, are there going to be any illustrations, icons, if there are, for suppose if I want to mention my Facebook link or my Instagram handle. So, and are there going to be some patterns or the doodles in the background or in the foreground. So these kind of content I have to create, I have to just gather it. So gather the content and then design elements from the content. Okay. Now, once we have the content, we know uh, what to be written on the graphic. Then how to use this typography, what font it will be, what size it will be. So for those reasons, for those things, we need to design the graphics. For suppose if we have some image, how would this image be displayed? Either it is being clipped by some shape, or it is going to be a circular, or just going to be in the background. So these are the elements that we need to mention. So also, then we have to prioritize again. The In the chapter of focal point, we discuss this thing that uh, the first thing that we want our viewer to be viewed, which we think is going to grab the attention to this graphic, should be prominent. It should be first priority. Okay. Then there we can define the second priority, third priority, and so on and so forth. And mostly a social media graphic may have one, two, or maximum three things, not more than that. If it is more than that, so people might just neglect it. Too much text, no one want to read. Okay. So make sure you have minimum number of words and only two to three things to guide the user. Okay. First of all, we want to uh, catch them with one keyword, and then maybe they will be interested in reading the whole phrase in the okay. So prefixes and postfixes. And then on the third priority, maybe they want to see who have designed this thing. Right here we have this, let's say on this slide, we have this catchword, for suppose. Then we have our content, if someone is willing to go through it. And later on, maybe on third priority, they want to see who have created this content, or shared this content. So that is how we prioritize the things. Okay. And for prioritization, of course, we have shapes, we have bold or high contrasts. There are a lot many things that we have just discussed. And once your design is done, please leave it for a while. This is pretty good. Normally what we do, I have seen designers, they make the design, and well, I will show you this in a short while. So once again, if we are just disconnected from this workshop, so you can use again the same link and rejoin it anytime. And we are pretty much done with the presentation and the content. So now it's going to be an interactive session, and you're going to ask the questions, and I'm going to show you how it is done. So far, any confusion or any questions or anything? This thought process is pretty important, and I would recommend, if you can just take the screenshots of this, please do. It's going to help a lot. Uh, well, Noor, yeah, I think we will have time to just move towards the tool. We have like 50 minutes. So any other question or confusion or query? Right here we have our questions. And please do not forget to follow us on our social media. And on Instagram, we are our handle is life@Techylem. How do you define the target audience? All right, Lido. So, all right, let's come up with a scenario. Can you show give me a scenario? For suppose we have a graphic, we have a post to be designed for gaming page. There are some a team who plays who does online streaming and play, let's say, Counter Strike. Okay, so they play Counter Strike and on stream it online, and they want us to design a graphic for them so that they can uh, generate more and more views on their streaming channel, which is on, let's say, on Twitch. Let's say, for the sake of simplicity, it's on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube live streaming. Now, how would we define these things? First of all, we have got the goal that we need more traffic or more views on their online streaming. This is the goal. Okay, then we need to define the target audience. Maybe for suppose, let's talk about gender. So maybe I did. So maybe we have uh, who is interested in Counter Strike. Mostly men, but also there are also girls as well. So we know we are going to target most of the boys. Okay, and there are lesser girls as well. Then let's talk about the age group. Well, I'm pretty sure no one in the age in their 40s or in their 50s play Counter Strike. So most probably it's going to be like the people in their teenagers and into their 30s up to. So most probably it's going to be like 12-year-olds or to 25 or 26 years old, or maybe 28. Okay, so this is the age. Then we need to mention that what are their interests. Of course, their interest is gaming, and once we know their interest is gaming, we have got a lot more details. Like the people with the gaming interest, they have quite a lot of they're more habitual in looking into bold characters and uh, high contrast and shapes and stuff. So and their graphics or their illustrations are also kind of like skulls and bones, and and guns and bombs or hand grenades kind of things. So these are going to be used. And then what do they want to see? Well, once again, we have got this idea that they might be willing to see the online streamings of top players, and also else what else they want to see again. uh, as I mentioned, skulls, bones, guns, grenades, most probably, and vibrant colors, green, or it is going to be red, or it is going to be like uh, yellow. So again, so that is how, once the goal is defined, typical gaming elements and colors, right? Exactly. So well, also it comes from the experience and the knowledge in the specific domain, and also we can just of course no one is willing to uh, get a surveys at how to for for the data to how they should design their graphic.